If you say we are, gentlemen, I'm ready to follow you.
We're going anyways. All right, we're back. I don't know where Steven's doing here, but
You're not gonna remove me, Chris. You're not gonna fucking remove me, okay? I'm not doing it. We're done. If you remove me, we are done.
Don't let them know that I was like trying to do that. That they were actually influencing me into removing you from the show. All right, next up, guys, Maximus Drama, and so there's a reason why Steven's playing StarCraft during the show.
What are you talking about?
So who here thinks that Maximus is going to beat Destiny to GM?
Why would you even ask that
All right,
question?
we're doing straw poll, man. We're doing straw poll. I want to see it. I want to see who thinks that Maximus is going to beat Destiny to GM. All right, let me show this shit. Let me show this shit.
He's not even playing anymore. He quit today. Fuck you.
He quit today. My ass, he quit. All right, I'm going to show this
He's
straw
not
poll.
streaming anymore.
Where the fuck is it? He was playing earlier. I was fucking watching. I was watching him at the same time, man. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, shit. All right, look at all those Destiny lovers in the house. Actually, look at all
Well, I
those
can't help
Maximus
but
guys.
feel as well like you've literally just given the fucking green light to racism. Let's see how that pans out, Chris.
What?
I thought Maximus Black was only half white. Or black.
Oh gosh, you guys. Well, looks like nobody believes it, but why the hell are you still in freaking Masters? What the hell? How long has GM been out now? It's like you just got GM and then now you got kicked back down to Masters and still aren't back in GM. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, that's some fucking bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Are you gonna try for Shoutcraft or not? Like, how high are you gonna be once you get into GM?
Maybe, I don't know.
Once you get into
Jesus,
GM, how high are you gonna be?
I don't know, probably like rank 201.
No, you have all those points accrued, right? Like, it's gonna
I don't know.
shoot you up.
So did you see the theory that Maximus Black is the person who always makes those accounts?
What accounts? You mean the Reddit accounts?
Yeah, somebody said Maximus Black just generates the hype himself.
Yeah, so that's what I was kind of gonna bring up here with the whole Maximus Black drama. So I'm not sure if you guys are up to date on all this, but there've been like a few Reddit posts recently pertaining to. I think the first one was just this one right here. It was more of a general, like the title was more generalized towards SC2 streamers and really the influence that they have and maybe some problems that can occur with it. And they gave an example of Maximus who ended up playing, who ended up cheesed this guy out, and then he ended up losing, and then he just kind of, I think Maximus BM berated the guy a little bit, and then eventually even asked his stream to go, I think, report him? I think that, report him.
I do that shit all the time.
Yeah, exactly, okay.
I've gotten so many fucking streams tagged on Twitch, I'm surprised I haven't gotten banned yet.
So it ended up leading into two other Reddit threads, and in the end, Maximus made a statement about it, just a big old long Reddit post, and the result of it was that he ended up getting a ton of donations. His viewership ended up doubling, and has still, kind of retained itself till now. Before it was like right at 1,000, maybe a little bit less, and nowadays it's like 2.4K and even sometimes 3,000, right? So there have been some speculation whether maybe he's been, he's been premeditating some of this stuff, and some of those accounts that are posting these type of things are really him, and that's that whole bit. But Steven, I want to get your thoughts on it. Given that you seem to be doing it some too, is this type of
I don't beg for donations. Fuck you. What do you mean?
No. I mean, like getting people to report, folks and that sort of thing. But you only ask whenever they really, they.
Here's my
are
problem.
cheating.
If you're
They're
gonna
truly
fucking
cheating.
stream snipe me, if you're gonna try to queue games up against me, you're gonna act like a fucking retard and then BM me, and then you're gonna spam the link to your stream afterwards. Fuck you, man. If you want to advertise on my shit, you can fucking pay me for it. Fuck that shit. That's my philosophy.
Oh gosh. Okay, I mean.
The another thing too, and again, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to overcome my own like racial biases and not speak poorly of Maximus Black because he is a Pro Dust player. However, that being said, the people that apparently he was posting that he BM'd or whatever, like if you read the statement, apparently it was a guy from that SCA clan, and honestly, that's like a team of people that.
That's true.
Like if Hitler would those people during World War II, he would be celebrated as like an international hero instead of the infamy that he's acquired. Otherwise, seriously, fuck the entire SCA team and fuck everybody on that team. So I have no sympathy for anybody that like goes to days that they're on SCA and they're getting spammed or they're getting hate mail or whatever, like they can all suck a dick, a giant dick, hopefully one that has HIV. Fuck all those people. That's what I got to say about those people, okay?
Oh, and then there goes the topic. Oh, okay, Maximus is actually in the house. Wonder if we should. Well, maybe we'll bring John Jeff in a second, but let's talk about it first. So, there have been. I was going to talk a little bit about just the influence. Actually, Richard, what do you think about just the influence of streamers, popular streamers, and having them do things like reporting?
Here's what I think, right? First of all, if you hate this guy for being a cheesy player, you're a fucking idiot. Like I got no time for that shit at all. Like,
oh, buddy.
No, serious. Okay? Like listen, right? Like in all esports, you got people that have fucking lamed their way to certain victories, and it's a game mechanics thing. Like you got to play to your strengths in every competitive esport. I've been doing esports for fucking all this time. 10 years. I've seen them all. I've covered 12 different esports. There's always a way to fucking game the system, lane the system, right? And I know people don't like fucking cheesing. Right, I know people don't like it. I know it gets everyone wound up. I know Destiny. If you cheese him, he'll tell you to kill yourself. If you do it to Idra will find you and murder you. These people take this shit seriously. But the reality is, from a fucking ladder system or a ranking system, to be pissed off about that is fucking dumb. End of story. Like, fucking stop being such a purist. The guy plays to his strengths, which are obviously limited. But if he can pull off one of his cheese moves. Fuck it.
If he can get to GM with the cheese.
If he can cheese his way to GM, that says more about how fucked up the game is than how fucked he is, right? So
there's also this really fucked up perception where like MaximusBlack is an entertainer, and he has clearly said that multiple times. Guys. So it gets a little bit strange when people start like talking about Maximus, and they're like, "Well, he's never gonna get better." Blah blah blah. Doing it like they're all like he's being paid to like coach him, like sports psychologist or some shit. And it's like, man, he fucking plays the game as like recreation, and he might or may not want to get a lot better later. Like that's on him. But all he has to do is stream. Like he's not part of a team. Nobody fucking did a donation drive. To get like Maximus to go to Dreamhack or some shit.
Right? Like, I mean, again, the guy's playing to his strengths. Now, because he is elected to be a cheeser, right? Like that is his shtick. I got no doubts based on what I've seen of him, which fair fucks is limited. The guy might not be able to be like a top player, but he could certainly broaden his horizons. But it gets people's fucking dander up, man. So people who hate his shit watch him so they can hate on his shit.
Well,
which is the beautiful thing about Twitch, right?
So to be fair though, Richard, like there was a while where he was doing a series called like his road to GM or whatever, his journey to GM, which does kind of have some kind of.
He's baiting you. He knows he's not stupid. He knows his limitations. He is going to call it anything. He's going to call it, watch me cheese everyone fucktards or whatever, like whatever to get viewers.
But that's not what he is doing.
No, of course it is. If he calls it my road to GM and he's known as being a cheesy player, what are people going to do? They're going to tune in and be like, what the fuck, this Cheesemeister's going to get a GM? Fuck this guy. And he's just doubled his viewership. That's fucking smart. It might be cynical or whatever. Like the only problem I've got with what he does is once you start encouraging your viewers to engage in other bad behavior, like in negative behavior and potentially damaging behavior to someone else, just because you can, I got an issue with that. I haven't got an issue with anything this guy has done in terms of like, hey, tee-hee, look at me calling my stream like it's something serious. The guy knows his limitations. There's no fucking way. There's no doubt that he does. He admitted it the other day on Reddit, but I mean, like, he tried to play it down and like, he likes winding people up. And right now he's getting a reaction, and right now that's what he wants, because how else can you compete? Like, why would I watch his stream over someone else, like someone who can actually play the game? Right? Why would I watch his stream? Because of the fucking drama. Because of how it gets everyone riled up. And he's
not just drama, dude. I mean, he's funny too. Come on, let's. I mean, he's not a total drama monger. Okay, he's actually a funny guy.
I mean, it definitely helps, right?
Yeah, it helps, and that's kind of what we were talking about. Was this kind of a premeditated type of?
I don't think it was premeditated. There's this other phenomenon that happens. It's really, really, really fucking annoying. And that's where you run into these fucking dipshits that will play like idiots on the ladder, and they'll do whatever the fuck they can and BM you and dance their shit and play like idiots to try to get a rise at you. And then when you say something, they fucking run to like Reddit and they post about it. Yeah. What the fuck? And I And actually, you know what? Never mind. I won't even pretend. I'm not giving. If anything, I think it was premeditated on the SCA guy's part, where he wanted to do some stupid shit to get a rise out of him, so that he could go post on Reddit to try to get like a hate thread or whatever started. Seriously, anybody that posts an SCA and cries about getting BM'd against can go fucking kill themselves. That's beyond fucking stupid. Like the entire team is like built around being a fucking asshole, like as stupid as you can be on ladder, and trying to get whatever reaction you can out of people. Like I think that people should be vetting the players that are making complaints, you know, a little bit more closer. There's no way you can take anything that anybody on that shitty fucking team says seriously, you know? All right, sorry. It's a really annoying trend. It's a really annoying trend where people will go to try to get a rise out of you on ladder, and then when they're successful on it, they go to a public forum and then complain about your behavior. Like that's fucking absurd.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that as well. I mean, like, look, everyone's got a fucking breaking point, and the sad thing about like doing anything in esports, especially as a player, is you've got to deal with fucking idiots every day. Like, if you're like, if you're even vaguely recognizable, like, look at me, right? I'm a fucking esports nobody. Like, I got 3,500 Twitter followers. I've never been a pro player, but like, you know, I'm just known for being a journalist stroke dick, and that's it, right? Like, you know, not a journalist who strokes dick. A journalist, you know, a stroke dick, right? And like people rip on me all the time if they recognize me. I had a guy come up to me at Dreamhack and went, "Oh, hey, you're Richard Lewis," and I was thinking, "Cool, I've made it." And he went, "I just want to say I'm not a fan of your work." No shit, like in a bus station, like. Wicked, I get fucking face-to-face trolling. But so I can't even imagine if you were a player with like 100,000 fucking followers and everyone knows who you are when you're on the ladder. Everyone wants to fuck you up, right? To get that reaction so they can then post about it and go, look what this guy did. They tell a really one-sided version of the story, but because they tell their version first, everyone believes it, and then you're in some fucking PR climb down trying to fucking make up for what you supposedly did or didn't, and then it's gone too far, and then a manager will come to you or a sponsor will come to you and say, you really got to issue an apology, and you've got nothing to apologize for, but if you don't do it, it's going to cost you money. It sucks to be in that environment, man, and people that do that shit are one of the worst things you're going to come across in esports. So dealing with celebrity, or like, you know, fucking celebrity, right, is hard in esports. And, you know, what Steven's saying is absolutely fucking right. That's just a load of fucking... It's a bullshit thing to do to somebody else. But equally, I don't think this guy, in this instance, can have too much of any complaints about happening to him, because he is just a massive fucking troll anyway.
Well, what's funny is he's benefited from all this in the end. So, what, you know, whoever posted that, and obviously that Nexus, Atro Nexus guy, or Nexius, posting that MaximusBlack is bad for the community, obviously had that all backfire on him, because he's
Sure, but it doesn't... I mean, like, obviously it's an issue that's really personal to me, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to insinuate or say anything is right or wrong, but, like, the huge incidents that I had where I blew up on that one guy, and I called him a name that I probably shouldn't have said, something that I don't want to repeat because I don't want to bring up any traumatizing history from ChanManV, but, like, the game that I played against that guy was him doing, like, some really fucking stupid, like, one-base quadruple starport Banshee bullshit or whatever, and, like, after playing like that, and then, like, typing the Korean GG at the end on the NA server, and then I flip the shit out, and then I see that person, like, run to the forums afterwards, like, this guy was really mean to me on ladder, like, I think we need, like, shit like that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, well...
Are we going to get the offending party on? Are we going to do that?
Oh, you want to get Jeff on? Steven, you want to get Jeff on?
I'm game for give the people what they want.
Yeah, let Steven.
Remove me and get him on.
If he wants to, go for it.
All right, give me a second, guys. Let me interrupt this. Let me make sure he wants to.
As long as he's not cheesing me in a game, I'm okay with him.
All right, let's get Jeff on here.
Fuck Protoss.
I'm just ready for Jeff just to start laughing. I mean, he's getting shit for his teabagging thing. I mean, guys that watched his like stream know the teabagging stuff. That's like a recurring theme on his stream. There's literally
nothing that you could tell me.
I mean,
like this guy teased me better, and I went to his house and I raped his parents, and then I killed his entire family, and then I followed his entire lineage, and I killed like, every living generation. And like for that, like I would be like, you know, that's pretty bad. But then at the end of that, if you go, oh, he was an SCA player, then I would be like, oh, okay, never mind, that's cool. You know, like it doesn't matter what the fuck if it was really an SCA player, like seriously, dude, you have no fucking idea how fucking annoying those kids are.
What's up, Jeff?
Hey, man, how's it going?
What's up? What's up? We talking about you, obviously.
You know, I heard you guys were talking about me, and so I was like, well, you know, let me defend myself then, I guess.
We were supporting you.
Hey, I wasn't even critical.
In fact, you know what Richard was saying was pretty much bang on, for the most part.
Cam it, Jeff.
Yes, I was right.
You cam it, Jeff? Or are you on stream?
Chris, I'm out with esports. Laters. I was right once. Fuck you.
All right, we'll just.
Yeah, so this whole thing about it potentially being all set up, it's most certainly not. In fact, the guy that posted the video, or not the video, sorry, the link on Reddit, is apparently a pretty bad troll and a map hacker, and he was just trying to start some shit.
Oh yeah! Somebody linked in the very thread that he made that thing. Somebody linked his Twitch account and his Team Liquid account, and the guy had been caught for map hacking in the past.
Yeah. I remember he's a known map hacker. So, and exactly what Destiny was saying a little bit earlier on, how it's almost like I'm walking on eggshells when I play the game. For example, just about an hour ago, there's this fucking idiot that was sniping me. And even though I have a 5-minute delay, which I absolutely hate putting on, but I have to, what they'll do is they'll add you on your friends list because BattleNet's fucking stupid, and you can just add whoever. And then the moment that you leave a game, then they'll queue up, knowing that you're queuing. So I had one guy in particular that would pause the game when I get in to pretty much check and wait to see if it was me, because I'm barcoded and I'm level 30, so it really could be anybody. And then, you know, I unpause like, dude, I know what you're doing. And then he calls me BM. Like, what the fuck? You're so bad at mannered. And it's shit like that then would go up on Reddit, and they'd be like, oh, MaximusBlack is unpausing in games. Just another fucking thing that this fucking no life cheeser is, you know, gonna. It's one thing after another, right?
Oh,
so
man.
you know, Reddit's had it out for me ever since I told somebody to kill themselves. 2.5 years ago, you know, Destiny just said it 3 times during the last 10 minutes, and there's no fucking post about Destiny on there. But people just like to
I think
ride
people have
that
gotten
shit.
tired of posting about me at this point. I think
Maybe I'm just the new guy, but what Richard said was pretty much right. You know, I make a post after, you know, I let it all go, right? I waited a day, I let it all go because I was getting high stream numbers. I knew what the fuck was happening, right? So I was just milking it, and I put in my Twitch title, you know, the most hated man on Reddit,
Yeah.
and I instantly get skyrocketed up to 3,500 viewers. And then it's my job from there to entertain them and get them hooked, and hopefully they'll enjoy me as a personality, and not so much my cheesy gameplay. Because like what Richard said, I know my limitations, and I'm just trying to forcefully get my way into Grandmasters through there. It is the quest to GM, and I still do put up games of notable players when I play them on my YouTube channel. But for the most part, you know, I'm trying to fast track my way into GM, which is actually turning to be a really slow and painful fucking ordeal. If I probably would have just went and macroed and played, you know, a standard all-around game since day one, I probably would have been there a year ago. But, you know, that's just me being hard-headed. And so I made that post on Reddit, just kind of giving my side of the story, and I was pretty truthful. I wasn't going to apologize to Reddit because I still think SC2 Reddit is a form of cancer, and I think that it's just a bunch of trolls on here that just leech onto something and try and put people down. And it's not just me; it's other people as well. I mean, I see bad things about virtually everybody, but it seems like I'm public enemy number one for the most part on Reddit. So I just wrote that post, and I knew it was going to get some attention as well. So you know, it was a double-edged sword. And it worked out, and like you said, ChanManV, I took probably about a 1.5 to 2 month break from StarCraft. I was playing it maybe 10 hours a week, and I was, you know, doing other things and sort of taking a break, and I had some health issues as well, so I wasn't really feeling up to myself. But now that I'm back into StarCraft, it was a bit slow coming in. I was like averaging, you know, 1,000 to 1,200, and over the last week, it seems like I've gotten my regular stream numbers back again, and I'm not complaining about it.
What I will say is, right, dude, if you think the fucking StarCraft 2 Reddit is bad, as a guy who gets flamed in pretty much every esports Reddit, they are the fucking best. Like, if they are cancer, like the Dota 2 fucking Reddit must be like fucking AIDS that enters your body through fucking septic hemorrhoids. Like, you know, I literally the fucking whole of esports, man. Like, if you're gonna get involved in it, be prepared for some bullshit. The StarCraft 2 guys are the fucking nicest guys. They're the smartest guys, in my experience. They're the most intelligent Reddit. I don't know if it's because people are a little bit older or it's just a more intellectually stimulating game. I got no idea why it is, but this is in my experience. They're more appreciative of good content. They support people who do good things. They're the more charitable one. I mean, look at fucking Counter-Strike, right? There was a Counter-Strike player, just a Russian dude, just a community dude. He lost both his legs in a car accident. So a friend posted a thread, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's get this dude some money. Like, fuck, man, that must be horrible. Like, Russian and you've lost both your legs. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. But this guy is a fucking Counter-Strike player. We're a community fucking that rarely does anything good for anyone else. Now's a fucking opportunity, right? So let's fucking do it. So me and Red Eye tried to push it. Like, why can't we get this guy some money, pay for his fucking treatment? Let's actually show that we're a fucking community for just fucking once, right? And and the little joke about the Russian thing there. The hospital he was in was terrible. I'm not even kidding. It was fucked up. It was a real fucked up situation, and we were trying to like get a bit of attention for it. And all the Counter-Strike credit was like, "Don't tell us what charities to donate to, dude. We're too fucking cool for that, right? Charities lame, okay?" And then they were all like circle jerking and like stroking each other's dicks about how they'd raised so much money for the Dreamhack tournament through buying cosmetic items that intrinsically have no value. So, I mean, that gives you an idea of the shit you're going to come up against. Yeah. StarCraft 2 is a community that paid for, like, MKP to get to tournaments and stuff. Listen, I often see them doing good charity work. So, to call them all cancer, man, if they're cancer, all these other Reddits are fucked up.
You're doing what some people do, and you take it out of context. I said StarCraft 2 Reddit, to me, is a form of cancer because the way they treat me. I'm not pointing fingers at the StarCraft community. I'm probably the most supported personality in StarCraft 2, and I would be hard-pressed to find anybody else that gets as much community support through my fans than what anybody else does. I'm not saying that at all. But what really pisses me off, and exactly what you said, where StarCraft 2 is an older, more intelligent group of people for the most part. And that's what really pisses me off, is the fact that it's like League of Legends, for example. When somebody's raging in League of Legends, you're just like, oh, fuck, somebody's raging in LoL. It's a bunch of 13-year-olds. But when somebody rages and calls you a nigger and does all these things in StarCraft 2, where you know that for the most part, this individual should know better, they're older, then it hurts that much. It's like watching a 22-year-old in the grocery store with his mom, and he's running down the aisle smacking shit off the counter and just laughing, going, that's fun, that's fun. You look at him like he's fucking retarded. Is that guy 22? But if you see a 12, 13-year-old doing it, then you go, oh, he's just 12 or 13. I'm going to brush this off. And that's what really pisses me off is so many people on StarCraft 2 Reddit in particular that have some sort of for reasons that I'm not
personality. And then when you provoke negative reactions, look, you've admitted that I was spot on the money, right? So let's take that to the fucking conclusion. You benefit directly stream-wise from getting a rise out of people. Like, people say that about me. Like, I benefit from my articles getting a rise out of people. And I'll be honest, I've wrote some editorials in the past where it's like, yeah, I know this is going to get a fucking rise, okay? Like, it's not necessarily... But let's do a bit of devil's advocate here and see where the fuck it goes. But right, your play style is going to be fucking offensive to some people. Then the way you present it is going to be, it's going to get a rise out of people. When you get that rise that goes a little bit too far, you then can't say, well, fuck these guys, they're a cancer. I mean, like the vast.
How is he getting that?
That's not
what happened. That's not what happened
at all. I'm not purposely getting a rise out of people. Some dick made a half-truth post about me. Didn't say anything about being SCA. I didn't ask for it. I don't just wake up in the morning and go, you know what, Jeff? Let's fucking think of a way to piss somebody off so they can make a post about me so I can get 1,000 more viewers. That's not my objective at all. I've already established in the community. I'm not getting any more popular. It's just not going to happen. There's no new people coming into StarCraft to please. There's only people leaving the community. So,
but you just started this. You had an increase in views based on this drama, right?
Of course I had an increase. There's so much drama about me. There's fucking 30 posts a day about Maximus Black. Of course I had an increase, but that wasn't my goal. I mean, yeah, I did little things like put Most Hated Man on Reddit in my title so that I can benefit more from it. But I wasn't like initiating the whole thing.
I'm just confused. Like, which one is it? You either milk the hate, and in which case the hate has to exist to get that reaction. Or you're not doing that, and you want to be like, or whatever the fuck, and in which case you're going to have to expect A, a drop in views, and B, that you might have to change some of the shit you do.
I'll never change who I am, and it's never changed. And that's the funny thing about it is people are acting like I've made a change of some sort, but I've been doing the same thing since day one. You know, my get is I get in chainmail, I sing crazy shit, I go and fucking put on costumes, I swing around with fucking lightsabers, I say stupid fucking jokes, I got put on pro teams. The reason why people are hating on me is because I am more successful than a lot of people that they follow, and they can't figure out why. And they go, well, how in the fuck does this guy get 3,000 views when you know, fucking some Korean pro is only getting 1,000? Well, fuck this guy. What are you?
Yeah, because he's not entertaining. So I agree with what you're saying, but I'm just saying, don't fucking. Yeah, so some people aren't watching you because they like what you're doing. Some people are watching you to fucking hate on you. It's like the Howard Stern effect, right?
Absolutely. Some people just watch to see me make a mistake or have me say something stupid or watch me lose. People get off on that shit. I'm not disputing that at all. But I'm most certainly not waking up and trying to figure out how to make this big controversy and spike my viewership. I mean, that's not it at all.
Well, as a streamer, you should be.
But I don't need to anymore. When I first started, yeah, I used to do some crazy shit. I used to, you know, fucking dance around in chainmails every day and all this stuff. But that shit gets old after a while. I don't have to do those things anymore because I'm already established. So I'm not like attention whoring like I used to. Like when I used to self-promote myself all the time to try and get views because I wanted to be known. That was the way it is. But I haven't had to do that in a year and a half, 2 years.
Can I step in for that? Because you guys are kind of, I think you guys are like straying really far off of each other's initial points. I think that just because you do something for entertainment or publicity, I don't think that it's fair to say that necessarily opens you to all forms of 24/7 harassment, regardless of what you're doing. Does that make sense? So, like, whereas somebody like Max, or even me to some extent, you know, like, oh, well, you're known for entertainment, or you can make a lot by, you know, drama or whatever, you know, stewing or anything like that. I don't think that necessarily means that it's time for you to accept that like 90% of the people you run into on ladder are going to be trolling you, trying to get a rise out of you, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know if it's fair to make that big of a jump. You know what I mean?
What gets you guys the most? Is it somebody in game? Is it the Reddit stuff, or is it in chat?
Now, the thing that gets me,
it's a combination. Or go ahead.
Yeah, the thing that really gets me is when people don't say the full truth about what's happening, and then everybody just jumps on board because they just want to put you on a witch hunt. That's what pisses me off. It's not the fact that somebody wants to make racial slurs or whatever. It's the internet, all right? I'm going to get that. I don't care. Or the fact that they make fun of my gameplay or whatever. That doesn't bug me. What irritates me is the fact that everybody just jumps on fucking board with it. And then I have to explain myself, and then everybody's just like, no, fuck this guy, downvote. And it's like I don't get a chance to say my point of view. People think like the whole Desro Puck thing where I bring them in for coaching, right? And they have to understand that, sure, I was there to learn, but it was a huge marketing thing. You know, I had new sponsors that week. I had huge stream numbers. The two guys that I brought on got shit ton more viewers, lots more followers. I paid them handsomely for being here, more than what they would make at home. I had fun. I got to hang out with two people that I enjoyed hanging out with. And we had a good fucking time and made some really good content. But then you've got these other guys that go, well, you fucking learn nothing. Fuck you. What a waste of time. You're a piece of shit. When are you never going to learn? Fuck you, nigger. And that's all I hear. And that's it. And I'm just like, you guys don't understand the business behind it and how these things work.
So I think so part of what Maximus is talking about is it really isn't endemic to StarCraft 2 in particular. It's really like everything. Where you get this idea where people will people call it the hive mind on Reddit, or they'll talk about which direction is the jerk going this week, you know, where any Reddit, I'm saying the StarCraft subreddit now, but honestly it's every Reddit, it's every community that's ever existed since the fucking dawn of mankind, unless human behavior has like significantly changed in the past like 5 years, which I doubt it has, you know, where people get on these huge like circle jerk trains. And whichever direction, like, the train is headed, like, everybody hops aboard and just circle jerks in that particular direction for any point in time, with little to no thought, you know, involved in the jerking.
But, you know, to your point, Jeff, though, you were saying you don't have to do all these things that, you know, these kind of antics, right, to generate even more views. Why is this even affecting you then? Like, you shouldn't have to even get stressed out about any of this shit.
It affects me emotionally, because you take so much on a daily basis to the point where you just go, I've fucking had enough about it. I'm going to say something about it. and then I get razzed on because I'm finally sticking up for myself, after keeping my mouth shut for so long. Or if I say, well, fuck you, get the hell off my stream, then they go, oh, he's super BM. Let me make another post about it. MaximusBlack has a raging moment or some shit. The next two mess and pie or fucking whatever the hell it is, right? So, it bugs me because it just affects me after so long. It has nothing to do with viewership or anything like that. It really just has a fact that this is my livelihood. I wake up and I do this every single day. This is it. This is my life. So when multiple people are making me seem like a person that I'm not, which is fine after a while, but then after so long you go, well, I think it's time I set the fucking story straight. And that's all I was trying to do. And you know what? You're right. It kind of worked out because my viewership did spike, which is a positive. And hopefully, it may shed some light on who I actually am and what I'm trying to achieve, if people don't know that already.
I mean, you seem like a real fucking strong personality anyway, dude. Like, speaking of someone who's been getting hate for the best part of 10 years.
And doesn't get views because of it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't get views for what I do because journalism is completely undervalued within the esports industry. Like, unless I can get on gamers to pay me a bunch of shit, like to interview Double Lift 5 times a week, like Travis or whatever, I'm fucked.
Man.
Like, I mean, that's, my journalism livelihood's in the toilet, right? Like, you're a respected fucking streamer despite not being a pro player and having a style that's like, yeah, exactly, man. So I'm just
very
saying,
fortunate.
like,
I'm not trying to come off like I'm whiny bitchy about it.
No, you're not.
But since it's been brought up, I want to address it.
Sure.
It's not like every day I'm coming on my stream and going, oh my god, my life's so fucking tough. I have to wake up at 11 a.m. and play StarCraft for 8 hours and get paid to do it. Oh, my life sucks. It's not like that at all. It's just I really just want to let people know, stop thinking that I'm some sort of pro player when I'm not trying to be one, no matter how many times I've said it.
All right, Steven, you gonna say something?
This is something that's really hard for a lot of people to understand if you don't do what we do, and it's one of those things where I don't want to say like you have to be there to understand it, but it takes a bit of like critical thinking, or you have to step outside of your shoes for a moment. It's really easy to kind of see the stuff that we or MaximusBlack do and be like, wow, like how lucky that you can just play games all day, blah blah blah. And to a large extent that's true, especially because of where I come from. Like I know that I'm fucking lucky doing what I'm doing, which is why I try not to complain about it too much. But that being said, people aren't built to be harassed like every single fucking day in and day out, and day in and day out, like over and 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 over again. Like it's really hard to comprehend the kind of effect that can have on a person if you haven't actually been in a scenario where you're getting where you're dealing with a harassment on that kind of a level, like over and over and over again. So a lot of the times when you see like these really big and stupid and ungrateful personalities, like breaking out and shit, or breaking down, or having problems in public, lashing out and shit, like that's the culmination of like, weeks and weeks and months and maybe even years of dealing with bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people always talk about just the vocal minority are the ones that speak out, but I guess a little bit along the lines of what Jeff was saying, it is a little bit different when the Redditors upvote, one of these kind of quote unquote.
But again, that just has to go.
Minorities.
That just has to do with whichever the direction the jerk is headed that particular day.
Mm-hmm.
Those same
I mean, I think Destiny gets it.
Well, of course, Destiny gets it. And you guys are kind of, are probably two of the biggest experts in StarCraft on being harassed.
Thanks.
But it's not all about being harassed, man. I mean, I'm very grateful for the actual fans that I have, and I have no complaints. I got to achieve a lot in StarCraft. I even got to play main stage, which I never thought I'd ever be able to do, but I did. So it's not all bad things at all. But just like what Destiny said, when you take so many hits over and over and over again, there comes a point in time where you just want to vent out and you just want to say, you know what, guys, hear my side of the story. And it may come off arrogant, it may come off as the ego's coming out or whatever. It may have just sound strange because you're not used to hearing it, but sometimes it just has to come out, and that's pretty much what has happened with me over the last couple days, and I just had enough of it, and I'm sure it's not going to stop, and it's not like I'm going to make a post every single time something negative. I mean, if you go on SC2 Reddit right now and you type in MaximusBlack in the search bar, and then you only make it so that it comes up StarCraft related stuff, and you click on newest, you will see the most ridiculous posts, and I'm talking like
Let's do this.
50 to
I do
100
that
of them
sometimes.
Yeah,
in the span of a
test
week
it out.
or two. It is fucking ridiculous.
All right, let me
It'll
see.
blow your
Yeah,
mind.
people used to do this to me too, and you'd see like the dumbest shit, like why do we have, why is Destiny still part of the community? And then they'll like some like really off random, like they have just screenshots of like your entire life, like everything you've ever said on stream and shit. I don't know, it's whatever, man. Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's,
so what about
it's
you?
just
I'm gonna
it's
see
just
this
old. But as for me teabagging SCA, I don't give a fuck, and I can't stand SCA, and I don't regret it one bit. I talked to one guy that was formerly on SCA. I won't say his name, but he came to me and apologized for some of the shit, and I said the same, and that was cool. And I tried to make amends with Cross, the guy that I beat and then I teabagged,
Fuck that guy.
and
Fuck that
and,
guy.
he wasn't having it. So I just said, all right, fuck you then, and don't cry about it. That's pretty much it. They seem like they can dish it, but they can't take it. And it was just a trolly thing. It wasn't like I was being like hateful or taking personal attacks or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just a all in fun teabag,
Yeah.
that was it. And people on Reddit made it seem like it was like, fuck, I killed somebody, like actual murder.
Well, the people that were making a big deal are people that never watched your stream, so they don't know what the hell
And
you were
this is
doing.
the thing, like, as your
know,
exposure's going up, man, people are going to see it for the first time. It's going to be
Dude, the
completely
teabagging
taken
is
out of fucking
hilarious,
context.
man.
Yeah, no, I
fuck.
agree with that. I don't even get why people would get fucking upset about it. But all it takes is that one person to get upset about it. We've got this new fucking awesome system called Reddit. It's great, right? Where everyone will just upvote something because it's, going to cause drama. It's got nothing to do with whether they agree or disagree. The upvoting, downvoting system is ridiculous. Downvoting shouldn't exist for starters. Because the opposite of an upvote isn't a downvote, right? Like
Yeah.
you're
I agree.
taking away someone else's vote with a downvote. The opposite of a downvote is an upvote is no vote at all. But that's how it works. And what I'm saying is to you, man, like you should be fucking over the moon that you're fucking relevant, despite what we've talked about, despite your playing deficiencies, despite the fact you're not a pro player. You're obviously an entertaining dude, and it's like I said. I mean, people were saying, "Oh man, Maximus isn't smart." You've come on here, and I think you've argued some fucking really good points, man. I agree with what you're saying. But equally, those assholes are the same assholes that can be swayed. I don't think they're like floating voters in an election. I think they're the guys that can be reached, They're not necessarily haters. And if you do what you do, I think you can win them round if you do something a little bit different here or there. Or maybe it's a case of if you keep doing what you're doing for long enough, it's like they'll get the joke and they'll, oh fuck man, I used to hate this guy, but actually he's really fucking cool and he hasn't changed in a year. So I get it. I respect him for doing it.
Yeah, I don't get the lecture on that. He knows Jeff knows how to
exactly.
convert
So
on people.
I just enjoy this like awesome fucking new sort of like influx of viewers, and you're going to get some hate in the short term, but I think you're going to get more viewers and more bank in the long term. And isn't that what you're doing this for?
Yeah, well, I'm doing it because I love it and I have a passion for it, and I really do love the community. Don't get me wrong, and you're right, this is what I do it. I mean, money's good. I wake up and I do what I love every day, and my life is much easier, much better. But at the same time, I guess there's things that I would like to see that would change in the community, but I think I have to realize that some things just won't change. And I think when I let go of that a little bit more, then maybe I'll enjoy this even more so. But you're totally right, and I'm sure that some of the haters will convert, and I'm sure some of the long-term fans have said, "See you bye." This isn't changing enough. It works both ways. So. I'm hoping the best, and I'm good. I just want to come on here and
Cool.
give my side of the story, and I like it when Destiny's on here too, because I think Destiny was somebody that I looked up to when I first started, and I tried to emulate in a way, and I'm just happy that he understands, because every point that he said was pretty much bang on. You only can take it for so long, and then you just have to say something.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. But Jeff, thanks for hopping in here and giving your thoughts. It's definitely great to hear it from the horse's mouth, obviously, when we're talking about this kind of drama.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, guys, and it was nice talking with you, and nice to meet you there, Richard.
Yeah, you too, brother. Keep it going, man.
Yep.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Later. Okay, let's
Are you fucking real, ChanManV? From the horse's mouth? What the fuck?
I know.
Why?
What the fuck, dude?
I mean,
What?
come on, that stereotype died.
Oh,
in the
shit,
Christmas
I didn't
race.
mean
Like,
that.
it's so
I
bad,
didn't
but-
mean that, motherfuckers. Alright, damn it.
So
You guys are
bad,
dicks.
dude. Like,
It's a saying, God, man.
if he'd
It's my turn
made
again,
the
my turn
same
again.
mistakes, if he'd made the same mistakes that Destiny had made, you'd be able to say that definitively. But he didn't.
You know what?
Of
I
course,
was
yeah,
just
I don't
saying
have that
porch
luxury.
monkeys, just a saying.
Horse monkey.
ChanManV.
Oh
Wanna
my
know?
god, I get
more
called, I
off that.
get called Ching Chong Man like enough, I think. Jeez. All right, let's see. Let's get some questions here. Let's go on to user Q&A or viewer Q&A. Sound good? I had a good one here. Where was it? Okay, first one's from Snuggly Puff Muffin. Richard's view. What's your view, Richard? On TB's interpretation of what an old boys club is. To quote him, here's the lowdown. The only old boying that's going on in the scene is respect for the work that others have done. That's what the Old Boys Network is. It's a group of people that actually give a shit about each other and recognize that this is a pretty hard industry to make something of yourself in. Nobody here is coasting, and nobody here forgot where they came from and how easily things can just slip away.
Can I answer this? I'm gonna out myself here, okay?
Yeah, just let Steve go on this to begin with.
The
Okay.
entire concept of an old boys club is 100% true. It's undeniable. In any fucking industry you'll ever work in your entire fucking life, there's always an old boys club. It's like a fact of life that there's always going to be an old boys club. Like, I can cite my own stream, for example. Like, there are days where I'm in a bad fucking mood and I'm not saying anything and I'm raging and I'm just randomly banning people from chat and my music might be too low and I might not have my webcam on. I can pull that shit and I can still float 2,000, 3,000, maybe even 4,000 viewers doing it just because of who I am. Like, that kind of shit is definition of the old boys club, where you've put in a certain amount of work to get to a certain point, and then you don't necessarily have to put that work in anymore to get there. You might be able to float, or there are other people who are working hard as you who are not getting the same success because of the status of that you've already reached, you know? Like, that's like the definition of old boys club. And I know for a fact that it exists. Like I said, I can do it. Like, I'm streaming right now, and fucking my shit is muted, there's no webcam on, and I've got 3,500 viewers. Like, how are you gonna say there's not an old boys club? You know, the fact that, like, once you've made it to a certain point, there are people that are always going to be looking out for you. There are certain ways that you can float on the amount of work that you do. Like, there's an old boys club. It's a little bit ridiculous. I understand that Total Biscuit has PR issues sometimes, but it's a little bit ridiculous for anybody to assert that there's not, like, a protective bubble once you hit a certain point that carries you a little bit further, you know?
And just to elaborate on that, I mean, look, right, the key thing here is with the definition of old boys club. Like, Steve, what you're talking about is you are an old boy. You have got a fucking fan base because you have been around for so long and you have built that fan base. But what an old boys club specifically is when a group of people that have that pull and have that influence gang together to effectively keep all the doors and all the windows they got through to get successful. They fucking slam them and board them shut so no one else can come through them, and they preserve their own interests. Now, that definitely goes on in esports. I mean, there's no... I don't know if people are fucking living in some sort of bubble where they can't see this happening, but it happens. It absolutely does. And you know, the difference between being... I mean, like, for example, I've got no issue with what Total Biscuit is talking about, where it's just like... I mean, what he's effectively saying is, yeah, we circle jerk each other if we respect each other's work, which is, you know, fine. Like, I respect Thorin's work. Me and Thorin, I mean, we seem to be inseparable. Like, someone says, oh, you know, if someone talks about Duncan, they talk about me, you know, and that's good for me in the LOL circle, and it's probably not good for Duncan in any circles, but, you know, that's just the nature of the beast, right? But, you know, you've got this other fucking thing, which is when I know firsthand that, like, let's say, for example, with the on-gamers situation, you look at some of the names that are getting paid off the back of that, well, that's nepotism in action. And people are saying, oh, he's salty because he hasn't been offered to join or whatever. Well, again, you know, do some fucking homework, all right? That's all I'm going to say about that. But, you know, you get jobs in esports through people you know, and people say, well, it's like that in every industry. Yeah, but every industry is actually big. You know, it actually means something. In esports, it's a handful of people that are really influencing, like, whether you can be a caster at a certain event, or whether I mean, like, you know, for example, like, if I've had to work 10 years to get to a stage where I'm still on a Twitch TV chat with people saying, who the fuck is Richard Lewis? And I've been in esports for 10 years, and there's a guy who started casting like 2 years ago, and because he partnered up with a guy or a guy who like started writing 2 years ago, gets fucking, straight to the top and gets paid CBS money or
Fucking
whatever.
So let's talk examples, guys.
No,
Let's talk-
that wasn't even aimed at Nathanius, by the way. That came off really salty. Like I was saying to Nathanius. No, actually wasn't, though.
Let's talk examples.
That was more of a Lurpus thing.
Is
Sorry.
there
For real
some
examples.
Is there,
for
no,
real
no, no,
examples,
hold on.
here's a question.
Is there somebody
sorry.
in the industry that we can point out that has been more talented than the people, quote unquote, in the Boyz Club that should have gotten a lot of jobs but just wasn't getting the jobs?
Oh yeah. Well, no. I mean, like, do you,
Well,
right, Chris?
if everybody's talented at getting the jobs, then
do you believe, right, as a content producer, that isn't like a top tier content producer? I hate to break it to you. I think your content is fucking quality, and I love being associated with you, and I love your shows, and I love the concepts behind your shows. But let's be honest, like, they're not getting total biscuit numbers, right? Are
Yeah,
they? So,
right.
as somebody who isn't getting that, right, do you not feel like? Do you think nepotism? Do you think esports is a meritocracy? Do you think everyone gets what they deserve based on work?
It's funny because the longer I'm in this industry, honestly, the more I kind of agree that they do get what they like. It is a merit. Yeah, believe it or not, actually, the longer I'm in here, because like honestly, when I was first doing this, like straight up, I'd look at guys like, JP and we and those guys and be like, man, it's like their shows, they're way better hosts than me, but the shows, the contents, I don't feel like it's as impactful as some of the stuff that I've been doing. But the longer I've been here and the longer I understand like what what it means to be a host and what they've done for so long, I actually kind of understand it, and understand why they have so many people. Are there times where like some people get a ton of viewers that I don't believe the quality is as high? Sure, but for the most part, I think
this is about to get so fucking real.
Let's
Are you
go.
ready for
Let's
how
go.
fucking real this is gonna be?
Let's go.
Okay, what do you think is your most popular show right now?
Most popular? I mean, are we talking just viewers? Or are we just talking about?
Yeah,
like,
just in viewer numbers of the shows.
I mean,
that you do,
Value
what do you think
Town's
is
the
your
most popular, just because I have Trump and Crip on it, right?
Okay. How many viewers do you get on Value Town?
Like 10,000.
What the fuck? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, ignore Value
This
Town.
point's
What's
gonna
your
be
most popular-
sideways. let's ignore Value Town.
Fuck Value Town, okay, because you got in early there, so you're an old boy Value Town.
Okay.
But actually that could work, but we're not gonna work with that. What's your most popular StarCraft 2 show, okay?
All right, this one. Of course, this is the.
Okay, this is the most popular StarCraft 2 show,
Yeah.
okay? So the reason why, and I kind of talked to you about this in the past, and I think I've
Yeah,
talked to
I
other
mean,
people.
believe me, I know why. I know why this show is the most popular show.
Oh, yeah, no, but the reason why I wanted to work with you is because I'd seen all the content you did. You got a huge YouTube channel in regards to the amount of work that you put into it and amount to the production on all your shows and the guests you try to pull on all your shows and all of that shit, right? You did a lot of work, and I thought that was really cool. So I wanted to partner with you to do a show because I like
of course.
you do, right?
Yeah.
So that's like an example of me being an old boy, like reaching out to you to try to pull you into the esports heaven, right? Where I reached down to you, my child, and I carried you with me on my arms, in like the arms of an angel, right?
This is Destiny charity right here. I mean, what the fuck? All right.
It's a bit of an asshole, but to some extent, like you see that like me reaching out to you from my little protective bullshit, like really fucking helped you, right? Would you agree with that?
I would agree. Yeah. I mean,
Do you think that Live on 3 would have been even near as popular as it was if it didn't have the monopoly on EG players and talk show things?
Live on 3 is different. Live on 3 has a. I mean, you're talking about inside the game, maybe, but Live on 3 has a legacy.
I'm talking about inside the game. I'm talking about inside the game. I'm sorry. You think inside the game would be as popular as it would be if it didn't have the monopoly on like EG players being on it, or do you think that State of the Game would be as good if it wasn't the only place to get like Noni, Day9, and whoever, Jeff, and whatever other guests together? Like all of these the talk show world is actually like the epitome of old boys club, because the amount of viewers that you get in the talk show world for StarCraft 2 is really 100% of your networking. It has, and it sounds really shitty to say, but a meritocracy on the talk show world. I mean, JP could throw a stream on right now and call it State of the Game 69 and invite like the staples of the show and pull like 15,000 viewers without an overlay, without a video, without any prep time, like with no work whatsoever, I'm not
but
trying
he's
to
gotten to that point. I mean, he's doing some like JP. Let's talk about JP, right? I mean, he's doing
No, I agree with you. When you say he's gotten to that point,
Yeah.
I agree with you in regards to he's gotten to the old boys club.
Okay, all right.
So the matter, I guess the matter the issue comes down to, do you think that you can put in enough work to get to a point to where you're protected? Because it's almost like in these worlds of popularity, it's almost like we treat these positions as tenured professor positions from colleges, right? Where once you're tenured as a professor, you're never gonna fucking be fired.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
and a lot of people, depending on how you
That's
go, a
the
lot of people
community.
argue
The community is like that. Community and favorites are long.
Sure.
Yeah.
Long-term
But
thing.
forget the community, right?
Those
Forget the community.
tenured are kind of like, that's the old boys club, where like you have to be a part of a certain group of people that get a lot of fucking viewers, and you got to be part of them, or you got to find a way to get into that group. Otherwise, you're gonna be like your pre-big Chan Man, where you're doing a fuck ton of work, you're putting in a fuck ton of content, where you're spending all sorts of time on shows, on overlays, on videos, and you're just not getting the viewership because you don't have those big names, and because all the big names are already taken by State of the Game, so they don't want to do anything else, or are already on live on EG, or they're already doing whatever other shows that they are the only shows that they're going to be on. And if you can't ever crack that, you're fucked. It doesn't matter how much merit or anything else that you put in, like you're always going to be fucked. Does that make sense?
I mean, that makes sense. Okay, so if we're going to bring up an example of one of my shows, right? And I think, Richard, you'd probably say that Climbing the Ladder, right? Climbing the Ladder, we've done a lot of what I consider shows that I'm very proud of. Shows that I felt like I accomplished what I wanted to with those shows. And the viewerships, didn't reflect it. And, one of the things that Climbing the Ladder has given me, even without, like, just viewership from the community, because Climbing the Ladder is very specific to, like, the business side of esports, too, which a lot of people don't find entertaining anyways.
I bet they find it entertaining if Day9 and Noni and Jeff were discussing it on State of the Game. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right, but that's just that's just fanboyism.
Prime example, right, Chris? Yeah,
So
that show you did with Day9 about like his new RTS or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fuck, man, what a bunch of PR bullshit that was. Like, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. I'm not ripping on you, man, because I love you.
No, but the reason for me doing that.
Yeah, no, but I know why you were doing it. But look at the views it got. And
it wasn't even for the views. It was really just to show that other side.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, look at the views it got compared to some of the other shows you have done. This is what I mean.
It didn't even get that many views, Rich. I mean, it was like I had Day9 on the show and I get like 1,300 people. That's like nothing. I mean, that's like as much as I love Sean doesn't really necessarily auto pull you numbers. That's not that just he gives you another 500, 600 numbers or something like that, right? But it's not like he's going to give you like 3,000.
Are we talking about the same Sean here?
Yeah, like when I've had him on shows, it's not like an auto like crazy number. It's not like TB. TB is like auto numbers if you have him on the show. But with like that show, Richard, I mean, I had them on because I wanted to show that they were actually part of that gaming company. They're hired employees of that gaming company now, and that they're doing. I was trying to show the community a little bit more into that, into the news that was announced there that they might not have gotten, right. And that's what I've kind of done with Climbing the Ladder for a while, and it doesn't get the views. But for me, what it has ended up getting is just a little bit of cred, right? Just from I guess you could call it the old boys club, right? Just because, I mean, who do I have on those shows? I do have those guys you'd consider on the old boys club talking about business and that sort of thing.
But again, this is what I mean. It's like it's almost as if, right? What you need to do is you need to sort of trundle along in esports long enough where you're either around for such a long period of time that they start championing your work, and that's when it opens up for you. Or they're not going to champion it, but they're at least going to fucking appear on it and help you out, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that is the definition of what an old boys network is. The definition is they have the fucking keys to your success, and they can fast track you or they can hold you back. It's that simple. Like, I mean, there was a period of time when me and Total Biscuit were having our little fucking feud, and like I said, that's all sorted now. I mean, deep down, we're both British people, so we're always going to be both abrasive, and once we find out where we are with each other, we're going to get along fine. But there was a period where he wouldn't even tweet my name because he didn't want to give me any followers. He blocked me, but he would talk about me in really passive aggressive terms, right? But that shows that he is hyper aware of the way that influence works. And if you're, I mean, look, I'm not going to blame anyone for a fucking lack of success. I don't care. I do what I do, and I'm never going to fucking change what I do to be successful or to get more money. But the people that want to do that, I mean, believe me, licking a bit of ass is going to help you immensely. Getting into this old boys club is going to help you immensely. Getting like one guy to like say, oh, this upcoming caster is brilliant, is going to shave 4 years off your career. if he's in the old boys network. And whether people want to accept that or not, like, that's unfortunately the state of esports. There's a lot of people who are very, very good and very, very talented that think, you know what, fuck it, I'd rather get a real job than do this 4-year long haul to get to that stage where the old boys network are going to endorse me, and we lose a lot of good people because of it.
So I want to make a statement about that. Like, you know, people just showing up on your show. I've had people on my show, like even Pro Corner, for a long time, you know. And the thing is that it's not just having them say a few good words. You know, Jeff said good things about my stuff forever. Lots of people have said good things about my stuff forever, but it doesn't equivocate to anything, because, you know, in the end, am I an awkward host sometimes? Yeah, I'm still an awkward host sometimes. I mean, that's just part of who I am, you know.
Okay, here's the question. I'm not trying to talk to anybody, but do you think you're more awkward than JP? Like, and I love JP. Jay's watching. I love you, JP. I love you. You know I love you.
No, I mean, JP is still a better host than me. I definitely feel that JP is still, because he's done it longer than me. So.
I mean, a little bit. So, but I mean, like, you see where I'm going with that, right? Like, JP's not by any stretch of the imagination. If somebody were like, who's like the best host, like most vibrant personality, you know, and like you could say the same thing about and again, not to shit on anybody, because I give him a lot of shit often. I'm sure he hates me right now. But like, do you think that Tasteless is like a really good caster and puts in enough work to be where he's at right now, and to constantly be where he's at, compared to every other caster out there?
Compared to him, no, but he's got the legacy. I mean, he's like John Madden in football. You know,
he's in the old Boyz Club.
Well, I'm just saying he's okay. I mean, sure.
I mean, like, right. I mean, we're probably getting sidetracked, and I know you don't want to talk about this for too long, because it's just one question. But I think the only problem to answer the question that I had with what TB said, because he's not necessarily disagreeing that there's an old boys network. I mean, like, he's very good at doing this. Like, what he does is he takes a little bit of an issue and he addresses it slightly, and then goes off on a tangent in such a brilliantly written way, or brilliantly presented way, that you forget that he's actually not answered the question. He'd be a fucking awesome politician. The problem I've got is when he says people don't do it for money, because that is horseshit in esports. That is fucking the biggest lie ever predicated. Like, you start on your esports journey being a volunteer and loving the community, but there comes a point when you've like made it or whatever, where you won't get out of bed unless it's worth your while financially. Like, you get this sense of entitlement. It's natural to get it. So you either become the person that's about money or about the work. And I think everyone in the esports community knows how you divide those people up, right? And to say that people in esports don't do it to get paid, that's fucking bullshit. Like, you know, I can't.
There's nothing wrong with doing any sports to get paid.
No, but I know that.
Don't
but
even.
It's like the
next
that you need to defend it.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. Don't pretend you're not financially fucking motivated. You know, because like obviously you are, and we can see who they are. I mean, like, you know, DJ Wheat, right? Like, everyone loves him, right? Marcus is a cool dude. He loves money, man. He's got a family. He loves money. Hip Hop Gamer League. He didn't do that because he thought it was going to be awesome. He did that because he wanted to get paid. He did that to meet Snoop Dogg. You know, that was the fucking motivations, you know, and good on him. But don't pretend it was we only do this. It's like we could make more money elsewhere. A lot of people couldn't make more money elsewhere. A lot of people ain't shit in the real world, and they got status in esports. Go figure, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, last comment on this, and I'm going to throw out an example. Okay, like right now, like somebody that's probably in the chat right now who's doing something good. So this is going to help him out too. So this is one of the main reasons I'm doing it. And there's a guy who I kind of see as somebody it's pretty similar to me like 2 years ago. And, you know, Fear Dragon, right? He's doing those up and coming tournaments in NA where he's not only doing tournaments, you know, he's doing like this show, then a kind of follow up during the week, and then it culminates into some tournament, right? And he's doing these things that I would have probably done like 2 years ago, or I was trying to do when the environment was a little bit different in NA. And you know, those are awesome things. And, you know, Jeff, like, you know, mentioned something earlier today on a comment just saying how he's doing a great job. And, you know, Weed's tweeted, I've tweeted, you know, all of us have tweeted and that kind of stuff. But that's not going to end up being, like, a shitload of views for this guy until, like, he's done it, like, 2 years and, like, you know, it's not even just having the old Boyz Club just saying good things about him. He actually has, you know, something just kind of really lucky has to happen. You know, it's like some kind of like magic has to happen for it to
What
really
if you
really
wanted
stick.
to okay, what if you knew like a little bit about video stuff and you had two friends that were like really big in the StarCraft 2 community and then you wanted to do a documentary using their names to advertise it?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Sons of StarCraft.
Yeah. What?
So like that's another example of leveraging really popular people into publicity.
I mean,
for
what
yourself,
I'm
no?
trying to say is like you have to do. You
Like,
almost
if
have to
if
do
the
stuff
documentary was
regularly
about
with
if the
them.
documentary was about anybody else, do you think it would have raised that much money? With that video producer?
God, we're gonna start talking about this now.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just. But come on, like you have to admit that to some extent right.
Yeah, I admit. Yeah, if it wasn't about those two guys, yeah, it wouldn't be. It might not raise the money, right? I mean, it wouldn't have raised that amount of money.
Sure.
For sure.
Fuck that, right? CBS fucking bailed them out of a massive hole anyway. I don't know what happened to that money, but the fact that CBS had to put more money into it, and like people say, it raised 42,000. It raised 42,000 through its initial Kickstarter. Then about a month after that, they had another donate directly to my PayPal. Which has never transparently been revealed how much money was raised. And the reason that guys like Tumber and fucking Kim Rom have production credits is because they put more money into it. And look, I'll tell you fucking what people have told me off the record. This documentary was a fucking piece of shit when it turned up. Right? It was a mess. It was a shambles. It was badly. Sound quality was awful. Shots were awful. Content was awful. And they had to get the CBS guys to go in and fucking fix it. And this is why it was released episodically, not because they thought it was going to be better or it would be more traffic for on-gaming or whatever, but because to release the original entirely, it just wasn't viable. That's why it's got better with every episode. Like, fuck, the third episode that I watched, even as a detractor of the whole project, because it was just an excuse for a guy to take money from the community and party with his boys in Korea for however long he did. The third episode was actually watchable. It was almost like watching a real documentary. But the first episode was
man, we got to get Richard on,
I guess
on video.
to hint at what Richard, or to allude to what Richard was talking about earlier too. Understandably, all of this, certain people, get fast tracked to certain positions because they're friends with people who have already made it or whatever. Like, that's a reality. But just don't, like, and even though that's a reality and it's unfortunate, like, you just at least be honest about it. Like, please, like, just don't bullshit anybody about it, Like, Total Biscuit saying that it's, like, we're in here and it's not for the money. Like I said, I love Total Biscuit, and I'm sure there might be other stuff you could be doing to make a little bit more money, but fucking the money is really important. And especially when you're that big and you've got that many views and you've got that many subscribers on your YouTube, like, to some extent, like, everybody who's made it to at least my position, and even people who aren't as lucky as I am, have a value that they place to, like, an hour of work for them, Like, you're not going to be able to find a random person, like, hey, like, I've got a 52 subscriber channel on YouTube, do you want to come do an interview with me? Like, that, they're like, fuck off, like, it's not even worth my time, Like, most people will say that, and like, I'll admit it, like, I'll tell that person, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not interested, because it's not worth it to my time, like, I'm not going to make any money on it, and the exposure is not worth it for me. Like, just because those systems exist and they're unfortunate doesn't necessarily mean you have to pretend that they don't, or to tell everybody, like, oh, well, like, it's not like that at all. Like, you just don't bullshit everybody,
Dude, Kewen, why are you... Kewen keeps calling me. Stop calling me, Kewen. I'm not answering any phones. Unless that's actually somebody else. It's like this... I mean, Kewen's a fan of the show, but he just keeps calling me over and over.
He wants to defend his fucking masterpiece. Like.
His masterpiece.
Oh, what? Really?
Who?
No, I'm just joking. It's not just.
What?
Oh, shit.
That guy.
No. So I want to have Jeff. I do want to have Jeff on.
$42,000.
I
want to give a fuck what we're saying.
I want to have Jeff on the show eventually. I think he's up for actually coming on the show one of these times.
I think to hear his excuses.
I think once the show I think once all the episodes are finished, I think he said he'd come on and kind of give his take on, I think, everything that's been talked about in regards to Sons of StarCraft. So eventually we will get his side of it. Mm-hmm. But all right, old Boyz Club, anything else to say about it before we go to the next maybe one more question?
No, I mean, it's just like, look, man, like, Total Biscuit wrote a really articulate and smart post, but just because it's him, you don't always have to agree with what he says. I think there was some forced naivety, if you like, would be the best way to describe it in what he was saying. And I think anyone who's worked in esports for a while everyone knows who's pulling the strings. Everyone knows how it is, and you know where the barriers are, and you know what you have to do to get somewhere. And if you're willing to do it, you'll get there quicker. I mean, and that's just a fact. So,
Steven, any last words? Anything about that?
Good luck. I love everybody evenly.
Exactly.
It's
hard to follow up on that one, man.
Too good is in the chat. Does he want to say anything, or are people just spamming?
I don't know. James, you want to say anything?
James couldn't deny it. James couldn't deny the existence that once you've made it to a
James
certain
probably
spot,
has
like, the
interesting
network...
thoughts on this.
I was going to say, I mean, this guy seems to be able to hate on any fucking minority group, and it's okay, right? So...
let me see if James wants to chime in on this. He probably has some really insightful things on this, actually.
How old of an old boy can you be to make fucking transgender jokes at a tournament and come out okay?
He still got shit. What do you mean? He got plenty of shit for that.
It lasted 5 minutes.
If that was me, people would be writing letters to my mom telling her to abort me if I did that shit. I guarantee.
I mean, I got to say, I was amazed that it didn't have more venom to it. Like, it just seemed that it sort of dissipated.
What do you mean? There were like articles on Gamer that were written all about
yeah, but that's just Slasher farming it out because he's got a problem with too.
That article was fucking garbage.
I know. He tried to make it look like someone had just.
Oh, do you think really? You think he actually penned it and just put another name on it?
That was fucking hit farming. That was hit farming. There was like no issue.
Awesome
Nobody was talking about it. Nobody.
Like Slasher says, it's not true. I'm gonna have every fucker calling me in a second.
Fuck off, Rod. We all know exactly what happened there. Don't give me that shit. Trying to fucking deny it. Come on. He said to somebody that he thought would be the most sympathetic here, he's like, look, I really hate Too Good, and there's a history of it, and I can't write this, but can you write the following things, some points? And that's exactly what went down. That's the one gamers. Right. Everyone fucking...
Oh, God.
Just have some fucking stones and admit it.
I almost believe that it wasn't hit farming, but it was that last fucking line at the end that got me. We'd really love to hear your response to this, Mr. James. Oh, it's like, come on.
If you ever want to do an interview with us, we'll be happy to do one with you.
It's not conspiracy, man, when it's absolutely on the money. The reason you're laughing about it and spamming the Twitch chat right now is I pretty much nailed it to 95% certainty of exactly how it went down. So fuck you, man. Like, we all that was so transparent. If it wasn't so transparent, it might have actually got the rise you hoped it would, but it fucking didn't. So fuck.
I don't think I would just like to go on the record saying I don't think Slasher told her like what to write, but I'm not as extreme as Richard there in my fuck Slasher-ness.
Hey, I like Rod, man. Like, he still rips on me like all the time. He still secretly goes around to my StarCraft sources saying, "Don't give Rich any stories." I got this recorded.
Really? He really does that?
Yeah, he really does this. I've got a recording. Like, I could give it to you now. Like
a recording. Oh my! Wait. You have a recording with Slasher's voice on it.
Skype calls because I'm a journalist, right? Like, so I need to back myself up from time to time because people say you're lying, and then I'm not going to be called a liar, so I record everything. And I've got loads of people saying, "Oh man, does Slasher hate you?" And I'm like, I hope not, man. I like Rod, actually. Like, we sort of get along and respect each other. Oh well, Rod was telling us like, "Don't talk to you. You're fucking weird. You're crazy. You're a liar." All of this shit. I got it recorded. Like, I mean, and I'm like, oh well. Maybe we could stop, and then generally what they say is, "Nah, you're all right, fuck Slasher," and I get the story. So Rod, keep doing it, man. It's working wonders for me.
Oh man! All right, I don't think James wants to get on. He's not responding to me, at least on Skype. So, actually, why don't we wrap the show? Because
the reason why he's not responding to you is because you're not in the old Boyz Club, dude.
I guess not, man. I guess not.
If you were day 9, do you think he'd be ignoring you? There you go, checkmate.
Day 9, probably.
So kind of crazy. This guy was going around telling everyone I was bipolar. Rod, we're not rivals. We do different things. Like, just chill, man. Like, you're all right. You're all right, Rod. I like you. Oh, no, come on, man. Let's do some more questions. Like, let's get another question.
Dude, there's not. How do I follow that up? There's like nothing.
It's not my fault. Like, well, it is my fault. Exactly. Goodness. Don't penalize the person who asked the question because I like.
Any of these questions are just like, oh, what's your favorite? I mean, they're equivalent to they'd be like equivalent to asking what's your favorite food at this point. Oh, no, there's a good one. Okay, here's a good one. All right, last question, then we'll call it. All right, pen, paper, shotgun says, why the hell is nobody talking about the fact that Apollo called out In Control after Jaedong lost In Control? In Control said, oh, he's mad. He wants to reach into a booth and punch him. Then Apollo says, do you condone hitting on EG? I heard that's what's been happening on EG. He basically called him out for punching Stefano and causing his retirement in front of 60,000 people. It made the cast go so sour.
What?
I didn't even know anything
What?
about this.
I literally.
I know nothing about this.
Because no one knows anything about it, Chris. Like, what the fuck?
Wait, you think Stefano retired because?
Yeah,
Jeff
I know
was giving him
nothing
shit
about
on that?
this, so I don't even know like there's any merit to this one.
Yo,
Man,
is
that-
the name of the
that's
person? Is the
fucking-
name of the person who? Is the name of the person who posted that question Kespa Domination?
No, it's pen, paper, shotgun.
Because there's a guy on the Starcraft subreddit called Kespa Domination who's posted a lot of stupid shit. It sounded like something. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so this could be just bunch of malarkey, but I just read it because I thought maybe I was missing something that I did not know anything
Man,
about.
you just got fucking trolled.
I must
like,
have gotten trolled,
absolutely
man.
trolled.
I don't know.
Oh, did anybody in chat
Like
that actually
says.
happen?
Did that actually happen? Anybody in chat? Did that actually happen? No way, right? Okay.
Nathaniel will know. He's been in chat. Let's ask him.
There's no way. I just probably got trolled. I get trolled at least once every week with a question.
Man,
so.
it's sad. Like, look at everyone in the chat. It happened. Yeah. Of course it did. Yeah. Give punch.
Give
nah,
punch.
Give
Give
punch.
punch.
Like, fucking- come on, man.
that's
Let's
awesome.
do a real question. Like, there's
You-
loads-
you
there's-
find
there's-
one. Gee, there's-
what's all this about this dust review? Let's
Oh God, that's like. Oh man.
No, don't worry about it.
No, I'm kidding, man. I know what it's about. So, let's, there's got to be there's good questions in there. Just pick one out, Chris. Come on.
I don't see any, man. Okay.
Don't be such a cunt. Come on.
Okay, last one. Let's see. Steven, do you think having a separate chat to Twitch has any way hindered your viewer growth?
No way. What the fuck? My chat's awesome.
Dude, I have to say his combo emote is badass. I wish I had that emote. Damn it.
Combo emote? What?
Your combo emote, the emote that you have or emoticon in your chat, the combo one.
Oh, that's just what happens anytime somebody spams an emote.
Oh,
It's
that
not like
it automatically
like
does it.
anytime, Yeah. Anytime somebody types
Oh,
one,
I thought it
one
actually
emote,
was an
it'll pop.
emote. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so you don't think it's hindered it? That's cool. That's good. That's good. All right, guys. Well, oh shit. Hold on, let me see this. But all right, guys, let's wrap the show. Oh man, that was an interesting last 30 minutes there. But Richard, always definitely always an adventure having you on the show, and you know I love doing projects with you and having you on the show. So
Yeah, man. It's nice to be called the equivalent. Like, I'm a dumb working class Destiny, as I think someone spammed that in the Twitch chat. So that's pretty nice.
Oh, that's almost like a compliment to me, saying that I'm like not working class.
Yeah, I know. He worked.
Actually
he
flattered.
worked his way up.
oh my god. But any shout outs you want to do, Richard?
I'm one white
look,
collar
man.
esports.
That's what you represent, bro. Yeah, look, just thanks to everyone. Like, as always, we launched a new website called Esports 7, merging CAD Red and Tech 9. It got some good attention over the Dreamhack coverage, so I'm just going to mention that because I'm contractually obliged to. And, you know, look, fuck it, man. Like, people fucking hate my ass, but, you know, the numbers didn't go down. You all listened. I respect that. You want to spam fucking hating me, I ain't gonna go all Maximus Black about it and fucking cry for an hour. You know, fucking hate me, love me, whatever, right? Just do what you do, people. And remember, I was the guy who said StarCraft 2 Reddit is not cancer. I'm on your fucking side, right? So stop ripping on me, you pricks. But yeah, that's my shout-outs. Love you. And love to both of you as well.
Steven, shout-outs?
If you're interested in cheap fucking mobile plans, check out destiny.ting.com. I'm partnered with Ting now. That's pretty cool. If you go to my website and you click on an ad for a Dollar Shave Club, you can also get cheap razors delivered to your door every
Well, where's
week,
the neckbeard
every
slogan?
month.
Come on, you have that like spiel about your neckbeard or something too, right?
Yeah, I don't have a neckbeard. Fuck
Okay.
Blue Flame Hellions, dude. Yeah, I don't have a neckbeard.
Still fucking playing.
Dollar Shave Club, all that shit. Thanks to Phoenix for their cool mouse and their cool mouse pad that I think is getting its issues worked out, and hopefully someday, some millennium, they're going to have that fucking keyboard. I'm not sure when.
you've been plugging that keyboard for
A long
since
fucking
we
time.
started
One
the
of
show.
I think so.
31 episodes now. Still
Yeah.
haven't seen it. All right, cool.
But yeah, I think that's it for now.
All right, I'll round things off by again, big shout out to you guys for doing the show today. Definitely a fun show. For those of you that missed the first part 1 I think is already on YouTube. So just go to youtube.com/ChanManV. Just click the videos tab. You'll see the latest videos I uploaded, and check it out. I'll upload the second part right after this. But subscribe to that channel if you want to catch any of the VODs for any of my shows, Unfiltered, Wednesday Night Sprites, or Value Town. Follow this channel if you enjoy the show. Follow us on Twitter at ChanManV, at Steven_Bennell, and at Richard_A_Lewis. And I think that's going to be it for the day. Check out Wednesday Night Sprites tomorrow night. We're doing this whole arcade night with Blizzard, so check it out, guys. Play the arcade, please, because there's so many fun games that you can play. You can play for arcade for free.
That's such an old boys event, Chris. Fuck you.
Fuck you, man. I've been trying to get like Star Strikers and that. You can't even say that. I've been trying to kind of getting that popular for a while now. So fuck you. And,
whatever.
And then Value Town on Thursday, guys. Check that out. All right, that's gonna be it for Unfiltered. So for Richard Lewis, Destiny, and ChanManV, we will see you next time. Later.
I should have shouted out my stream so people go to it. Fuck.
Yeah.